Kobe Bryant. The name itself echoes like a legend whispered through generations, from the hardwood of the Staples Center to the streets where kids still shout Kobe. After every jumper, his legacy transcends basketball. This isn't just about stats or championships. This is about immortality earned through obsession, pain, and perfection. Kobe wasn't born the Mamba, he forged it. Every late night workout, every broken finger wrapped in tape, every scowl that sent chills through defenders' veins became part of a myth that no tragedy could erase. When the world lost him, it didn't lose a player, it lost a symbol of relentless excellence. His story isn't about a game, it's about what it means to chase greatness without compromise. Tonight, we celebrate the life of a man who refused to accept limits, who turned every failure into fuel and every challenge into history. Because Kobe didn't just play basketball, he redefined what it meant to give everything.
Man. Guys, you know, it's, I can't believe how fast 20 years went by. I mean, this is crazy. To be standing here at center court with you guys, my teammates behind me, been through our ups and been through our downs, and I think the most important part is that we all stayed together throughout. And to spend 20 years here, I mean, you can't write something better than this. We didn't run, we played through all that stuff, and we got our championships, and we did it the right way. Thank you guys for all the motivation. Thank you for all the inspiration. To my family, my wife Vanessa, our daughters Natalia and Gianna, thank you guys for all your sacrifice. And Vanessa, you holding down the family the way that you have. I can't, there's no way that I can thank you enough for that. What can I say? Mamba out.
Look back at the fire that burned brighter than any spotlight, we have to ask, what truly made Kobe Bryant different from every other legend before or after him? Stay locked in, because the answer reveals why some heroes never die. Sports aren't just about points on a scoreboard, they're the mirror of life itself. Every game is a story of triumph, heartbreak, sacrifice, and redemption, and no one embodied that truth more than Kobe Bryant. He didn't just win, he showed us how to win. Through blood, sweat, and raw willpower, Kobe became the symbol of resilience. His career wasn't perfect, but that's exactly what made it powerful. Every missed shot, every heartbreak, every comeback reminded us that greatness is forged through failure. When Kobe stepped on the court, you didn't just watch a player, you felt something. You felt intensity, purpose, fire. He turned basketball into poetry, into war, into art. Every fadeaway jumper was a lesson in persistence. Every defensive stand, a sermon on discipline. That's why people who never watched a Lakers game still quote his words, still chase their own Mamba mentality, because Kobe's story isn't about basketball. It's about life, pressure, and the pursuit of excellence when no one's watching. But here's the question that separates myth from legacy. How did Kobe Bryant evolve from a prodigy into a force of nature that defined an entire era of basketball? The next part reveals how the legend truly began. Somehow, one of the fiercest competitors in sports history has had his greatness diluted by time and lazy narratives. Kobe Bryant's legacy has been chipped away by revisionist history, but the truth, the real truth, is that his journey defines the very essence of greatness. In an era stacked with Hall of Fame talent, Jordan, Duncan, Iverson, Shaq, Garnett, LeBron, Kobe stood toe-to-toe with all of them and never backed down. Yet people forget how it started. Draft night 1996, Charlotte trades him to Los Angeles, where the Lakers already have two all-star guards. A teenage phenom forced to sit on the bench while less talented players took the floor. Coaches didn't trust him, the organization didn't understand him, the media mocked his confidence. But when he finally got his shot, the league felt the quake. At just 21, Kobe was already All-NBA, All-Defense, and redefining what obsession looked like. He didn't wait for opportunity, he took it. The same system that held him back built the fire that made him unstoppable. So how did that same fire transform into a dynasty alongside Shaquille O'Neal, and eventually into one of the greatest runs the game has ever seen? The story of domination begins next. From 1999 to 2004, the NBA witnessed something it may never see again: pure dominance dressed in purple and gold. The Kobe and Shaq era wasn't just about size and power, it was about artistry meeting force. While the headlines crowned Shaquille O'Neal as the unstoppable giant, the heartbeat of that dynasty was a relentless young assassin named Kobe Bryant. Behind the numbers, the truth emerges. Kobe wasn't just Shaq's sidekick, he was the engine, the closer, the one who finished games when everything was on the line. During those title runs, Kobe was responsible for a greater share of the Lakers' total offense than Shaq himself. He led the team in fourth quarter scoring in 4 of 5 playoff runs and outperformed his age, his role, and every expectation placed on him. He was only 21 to 25 years old, yet he was already orchestrating an offense that left entire franchises shattered in their wake. Kobe was more than the lightning to Shaq's thunder. He was the storm that followed. And as the dust settled from their three-peat, one thing became clear: greatness doesn't share the spotlight forever. What happens when the Mamba decides to hunt alone? The answer changes NBA history. When Shaq left Los Angeles, critics said Kobe Bryant couldn't win without him. What they didn't realize is that this was the moment the Black Mamba was truly born. From 2005 to 2007, Kobe unleashed a level of offensive brilliance the modern game had never seen. In an era where teams barely cracked 97 points a night, he averaged over 32 per game, an impossible number in that defensive grindhouse of a decade. Night after night, he carried a roster of role players: Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, Luke Walton, against dynasties like the Spurs, the Mavericks, and the Suns. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was surviving a war zone of Hall of Famers every single night. Kobe dropped 81 points on Toronto, scored 62 in 3/4 against Dallas, and delivered a masterclass in every definition of the word unstoppable. While other stars had help, Kobe's supporting cast was a revolving door of mediocrity, and yet he still kept the Lakers relevant, still filled arenas, still terrified defenders. But true legends don't settle for survival, they chase resurrection. So when the Lakers finally surrounded him with one real piece, a single spark reignited a dynasty, and that spark's name: Pau Gasol. When Pau Gasol arrived in Los Angeles, everything changed. The Mamba finally had a running mate, but make no mistake, this wasn't a super team. It was Kobe Bryant against the world, armed with a single all-star and a will sharper than any blade in the league. From 2008 to 2010, Kobe dragged the Lakers through a gauntlet unlike anything the NBA had ever seen, facing 11 50-win teams in just 3 postseason runs. The Spurs dynasty, the Big Three Celtics, the Nuggets, the Jazz, the Suns all fell before him. He became the only player in history to lead the playoffs in scoring 3 straight years and the only man ever to score 600+ points in 3 consecutive postseasons. While LeBron, Magic, and Bird built empires surrounded by Hall of Famers, Kobe carried an army of underdogs to back-to-back championships. He didn't have luxury, he had loyalty. He didn't have super teams, he was the super team. Every fadeaway, every roar, every finals MVP was a declaration that legacy isn't given. It's earned in blood, sweat, and late nights in empty gyms. But even after conquering the league twice more, Kobe wasn't finished, because the next chapter proves how his obsession pushed him past pain, past limits, and straight into legend. By 2012, Kobe Bryant wasn't supposed to still be elite. He was supposed to be fading. Instead, he was rewriting the definition of longevity. At 34 years old, in his 17th season, Kobe turned back the clock and dragged a broken Lakers roster to the playoffs through sheer willpower. Dwight Howard was injured, Steve Nash was a shadow of himself, and Pau Gasol missed nearly half the season. But Kobe, he played 46 minutes a night down the stretch, averaging nearly 30 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, willing the Lakers back from disaster. Every game felt like defiance, against time, against critics, against pain. That season, Kobe didn't just compete with the league's best, he outplayed them. Stat for stat, he matched a prime LeBron James, even as his body screamed for rest. And then, in the cruelest twist imaginable, the unbreakable finally broke. A ruptured Achilles, the kind of injury that ends careers. But even then, Kobe walked to the line, hit 2 free throws, and walked off on his own power. Most would have stopped there, but Kobe Bryant wasn't most. Because what came next wasn't about victory, it was about immortality. The farewell that froze time comes next. Kobe Bryant's story doesn't end with numbers, it ends with meaning. 5 championships, 15 All-NBA selections, 12 All-Defense honors, 4th all-time in scoring. But stats can't capture what made him eternal. What defined Kobe wasn't talent, it was obsession. The kind of fire that doesn't flicker even when everything else burns away. Through bad rosters, injuries, and doubt, he stood loyal to the purple and gold, never fleeing for an easier path. Every scar, every setback became proof of something greater than basketball. It became the Mamba mentality. Kobe embodied resilience in its purest form. When the world counted him out, he doubled down. When critics picked favorites, he forged his own category. And when the lights dimmed on that final night, he didn't fade quietly. He exploded for 60 points, reminding the world that legends don't retire, they ascend. Kobe Bryant wasn't just one of the greatest players ever, he was the blueprint for greatness itself. His legacy isn't up for debate, it's immortal, but the story of the Mamba doesn't stop here, because Kobe's impact stretches far beyond the game, into culture, into mindset, into every person still chasing excellence. The next chapter isn't about basketball, it's about what he left behind.